Hi there, you're welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to take you through LU decomposition, which specifically the Crout method. So in our previous lessons in numerical analysis, we've gone through the Gaussian elimination, which is naive, partial, and complete pivoting. So we've also done LU decomposition using the do little method in the previous lesson. So in this lesson, we're going to use the Crout method of solving LU decomposition. If this is the first time you've been on this channel, kindly subscribe so that you will get access to all my videos and new videos I post on this channel. Please watch these videos to the end so you understand every part of the video. So I have a problem here which I'm going to use to explain the concept to you. It says use the Crout method to solve the system. So I have a 3 by 3 matrix here multiplying x1, x2, x3 and it's equal to this. This is what we call a system of equations. So we've represented a system of equation in the matrix form. Okay, so this form is basically called ax is equal to b, where this a is your coefficient matrix, your x is the variables, and b is what? Your right hand side. Okay, so Crout method. What's Crout method? So this is similar to the do little method. Simply LU decomposition means that you want to decompose this A into what? A form A is equal to L times what? U, where the L stands for lower triangular matrix and U stands for what? Upper triangular matrix. But when you say lower triangular matrix, you can have a unit lower triangular matrix where all the elements on the principal diagonal, like this, and this, are all ones. Or you can have a strictly lower triangular matrix where the principal diagonal do not have ones as their entries. Likewise, the U. So depending on how you do it, that is how we get Crout method and do little method. Okay. So for Crout method, we are going to use a strictly lower triangular matrix. A strictly lower triangular matrix. Then you use a unit upper triangular matrix. A unit upper triangular matrix. Okay. So this is the difference. But in our previous lessons, they do little, we use a unit lower triangular matrix and a strictly upper triangular matrix. So let's see how we use our Crout method. So simply, I'm going to decompose A into the form L times U. So generally, you just write A is equal to L by U, right? Then your A is what I have here as 25, 64, 144, 5, 8, 12, 1, 1, 1, right? This should be equal to my L. What is my L? My L, as I said, is a strictly lower triangular matrix. So meaning I'll have the entry here to be L11, 0, 0, L21. Here becomes L22, then 0. Then I have L31, L32, L33. Multiplying my unit upper triangular matrix. When you say unit upper triangular matrix, meaning that the elements on the principal diagonal are all 1. Okay, so you simply write 1, then U12, U13. Okay, then here becomes 0, 1, then here becomes U23. Okay, then you have 0, 0, 1. So this is what we call a unit upper triangular matrix. You have the elements on the principal diagonal to be equal to 1, then the others are non-zero. Okay, so once you have made this here, the next thing to do is to solve for the values of the unknowns here. So the various unknowns here is what you have as L11 and what you have as L21 and the rest, right? So let's see. So we just have to find the unknowns L11, L21, L22, L31, and the rest. How do we do that? We use the equation. This is a matrix equation, right? Your left hand side should be equal to your right hand side. So what you do is you expand this and after you equate terms. Okay, you expand this. So let's expand it and see. You get 25, 5, 1, 64, 4, 144, 12, 1, 8, 1. They should be equal to, on our right hand side, the very first entry here will be this whole row by our first column. The second entry will be this same row by our second column, and the third entry will be this same row by our third column. Okay, so let's see how we do that. So to do that, as I said, this row is multiplying this column. So I'll have L11 multiplied by 1. So I'll have L11. Sorry. I'll have L11. Then 0 multiplied by 0 is 0 plus 0 multiplied by 0. So everything is 0. So here becomes L11. Let's move to this same multiplied by what? This column. Okay. So how do you get that? So with that one, we are going to multiply this same row. So L11 by U21. So this was L11 U12 instead. Then 0 by 1 is 0 plus 0 by 0 is 0. So that is it. Then you multiply the same row by the last column. So I'll get L11 multiplied by U13, right? Then 0 multiplied by U23 is 0 plus 0 multiplied by 1 is 0. So I'm done with my first row. Then the second row, I'll multiply by each column. So L21 by 1 is what? L21. Is that not it? Then your L22 by 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. So this one too is L21. Now I move to the third row. Sorry, the second row. No, the second column instead. So L21 multiplied by U12 is what? L21 U12 plus L22 times 1. Okay, L22 times 1. So you get plus L22 times 1. So which is L22. Now I'll multiply this by the last column. For the last column, I'm going to get L21 U13. L21 U13 plus I'll multiply L22 by U23. L22 by U23. Then I think 0 times 1 is what? 0. Is that not it? Yes, 0 times 1 is 0. So let me position this one so that they become equal. So here, so let me write it well. So it's L11 multiplying L13. So let me write it here before I clean. So I write L11 U13. Then I clean that so that it will be in alignment. Okay. Yes. So after doing this, the next thing here is to go for my last column, my last row, sorry. So this row is also going to multiply everything in this column. So L31 by 1 is what? L31. Is that not it? Then L32 by 0 is 0. L33 by 0 is also 0. So I'm only left with L31 here. Let me come to the second part. So this also multiply the second column, and I'll get L31 by U12. L31 by U12 plus my L32 here will multiply 1, and I'll get L32. But this L32 multiplied by 0 will be 0. Now let's come to the last part. So L31 will multiply U13. So write L31 U13 plus L32 U23. L32 U23. Then finally L33 times 1. So plus L33. And we are done with this. So what you are going to do next is equality of matrix. Then you find the corresponding entries, the values. So using equality of matrix, you get that 25 here is equal to my first entry, L11. We are done. The next is sort 5. 5 here is equal to L11 multiplying U12. And I'm going to get L11 is what? 25 from this section. So my U12 will simply be equal to 5 over what? 25. This is the same as 1 out of 5, which is 0.2. Then the third part, I'm having 1 here. This 1 here is equal to what I have here. L11 multiplying U13. Is that not it? And I know that L11 is what? 25. So my U13 is equal to 1 out of 25. Then I come to my second row. 64 is equal to L21. So 64 is equal to L21. Then I come to my 8. So the 8 is equal to what I have here. So 8 is equal to L21 U12 plus L22. So what am I getting? I know that L21 is 64. U12 is 0.2. So I get 64 multiplying 0.2 plus L22 to be equal to 8, right? So solving this equation, 64 by 0.2 is going to give me So I'm going to get 12.8, right? Yes. So please use your calculator so you calculate alongside and you don't get lost. So 12.8 will be equal to, so I'm going to get L22 to be equal to 8 minus 12.8. And that is going to give me negative 4.8. Is that not it? Yes, negative 4.8. So meaning that my L22 is equal to negative 4.8. Then I'm not done. I come to 1. 1 is equal to what I have here. L21 times what? U13 plus L22 times what? U2. So here is I omitted the 2 here, so it should be U23 because this side is the second row by the last column, right? So it should be 233, 2 3. So here is 3. So with this equation, I'm going to get L21 here is 64. U13 is 1 over 25. So I get 64 multiplying 1 over 25 plus L22, which I know to be negative 4.8. So negative 4.8 multiplying my U23. So with this, I'm going to get 65 on 24, 64 on 25 instead, 2.56. So I'll get 2.56 plus or minus 4.8 U23 is equal to what? My 1 here, my 1. So with this, I'm simply going to get my U23 to be equal to 2.56 minus 1 all over 4.8. And what is the answer? I'm having 1.56 over 4.8. And that is giving me 0.325. 0.325. So at this point, I'm still on it. I'm coming to my last row. So 144 will be equal to L31. That's all. Then we come towards the second part. I have 12 is equal to L31 U12 plus L32. Is that not it? So this is going to give me my L31. I know to be 144. So 144 multiplying U12. What is U12? 0.2 plus L32, which I don't know, should give me 12. So with this calculation, I'll get 144 times 0.2, and that is 28.8. 28.8. So my L32 is simply going to be 12 minus 28.8. And what's the answer? Negative 16.8, right? So L32 is equal to negative 16.8. Then finally, we move to the last one. Here is 1, okay? So our 1 is equal to what I have here. L31 times U13 plus L32 times U23 plus L33. So when I get this, I'll make my substitution straight away. I know L31 is 144. So 1 is equal to 144. U13 is equal to 1 over 25. 1 over 25 plus L32, which is negative 16.8. So negative 16.8 times U23. So my U23 is 0.325. So 0.325 plus L33. So I'll do this simple calculation. So 144 over 25, right? Plus, but this is negative. So negative 16.8 times 0.325. And we are getting 0.3 as our answer. So we are getting 1 is equal to 0.3 plus L33. Therefore, L33 is equal to 0.7, right? So I'll simply circle out our answers. So I'll have this one that is L11. Then I'll have here is U12, right? Then I have U13, U13 here. Then I also have L21. Then I have L22. Then I also have L21. So I have L31 here. Yes. Then I have from here, I have L32. Then I also have U23. Right. Then we have L33 here. Is that not it? So let's see. What we are left to do is to rewrite our expansion back again. So we have to rewrite this expansion and replace it with the necessary input. Okay, to replace this with the necessary input. So to do that, I will simply have it written back again. So our A, which is equal to LU, A, so our A, which is equal to LU, should be L1100, L21, L220, L31, L32, L33, multiplying the U, which is what? 1, U12, U13. Here becomes 0, 1, U23, 0, 1, 1. Then I replace it with the necessary data we had. So what was our L11? Our L11 was 25. So this was L11, 25. So we simply write 25. Then I keep on filling in the entries. So L11 is 25. So I simply write 25 here. So I'll write 25 here, right? So 2500. Then my L21. So my L21, I'm going to have so L21 is 64, right? L21 is 64 here. So L21 is 64. So I simply write 64. Then L31 is 144. 64, 144. So I simply write 64, 144, right? Then I need L22. So L220. What is L22? L22 is negative 4.8. So negative 4.8. Then I write my 0. Then L32. I know L32 to be 0.7. I write my 0.7. Then L32. My L32 is negative 16.8. So I simply write negative 16.8 like this. Then what is this side? I have here to be 1. My U12. My U12 after calculation, I had U12 to be equal to this side. So U12 is 0.2 from this side. And U13 is 1 over 25. So we simply write 0.2, 1 on 25. I have 0, I have 1. I need U23. U23 is simply 0.325. So 0.325. Then I have 0, 1, 1. So I'm done with my decomposition. And once you're done with your decomposition, it means that you are almost done. Okay. So after the decomposition, you know the general formula. We have LZ is equal to B. Then we have UX is equal to Z, right? So your L is what? Your lower, strictly lower. So I'll simply multiply 25, 0, 0, 64, negative 4.80, 144, negative 16.8, 0.7, multiplying what? An unknown, Z1, Z2, Z3, and it should give me the B part of our question, which was 106.8 from the beginning. 106.8, 177.2. So I write that one. So 106 0.8. I have 177.2.279.2. Okay. So once I do this, this a simple forward substitution. Okay, this is forward substitution. So you know that I'll multiply this by everything. So 25 by z1 is what? 25 z1. The rest will be 0. Okay, should give me 106.8. Therefore, my z1 is equal to what? 106.8 over 25. So you simply do this. 106.8 over 25. I'm getting my z1 to be equal to 4.272. Then I come to the second, 64 by z1 minus 4.8 by z2. Then this one to be 0. This should give me 177.2. So I simplify. I know z1 to be this, so I'll simply write 64 by 4.272 minus 4.8 z2 is equal to what? 177.2. Is that not it? So at this point, I do this simple. 64 times 4.272, right? So I'm getting 64 times 4.272. So I'm getting 273.408 minus 4.8 C2 is equal to 177.2. Okay, so here what do I get? I'm going to get 273.408 minus 177.2. So I'm getting 96.208 to be equal to 4.8 Z2. So this divided by 4.8 should give me Z2. And Z2 is giving me 420, sorry. So it's giving me 20.043. Okay, so this is Z2. Now, finally, we write our last equation. Our last equation is 144Z1 minus 16.8 Z2 plus 0.7 Z3 is equal to 279.2. So I'll just make my direct substitution. 144 Z1 is what? 4.272 minus 16.8. Z2 is 20.043 plus 0.7 Z3 is equal to 279.2. So I'll simply do this straight away. I'll get 144 times 4.272 plus, so let me make minus 16.8 times 20.043. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting 278.4456 plus 0.7 Z3 is equal to 279.2, right? So 0.7 Z3 is equal to 279.2 minus 278.4456, and I'm getting 0.7544. So I'm done. I now know my Z1, Z2, and Z3, right? So I simply write it down. Z1, Z2, Z3 is equal to, the Z1 is from the beginning 4.272. Z2 is 20.043. Then the Z3 is 0.754. So once I get this, the next equation was Ux equals Z. Ux equals Z. So this, I'll carry my U part, okay? I'll carry my U part, which is this equation. So I'll have the U part here, which is 100. Then I'll have 0.211. All right, 0.211. Then the final part is simply 1 out of 25, 0.325. So 1 out of 25, 0.325, then 1. So this multiplied by our x1, x2, x3 should give us the z, okay? And the z is 4.272. This is 20.043, then 0.754. So after solving this, we get our x straight away. So to get the x here, we use what we call the backward substitution, right? the backward substitution. So let me check my u again. So from my u side, I shouldn't have this to be 1. I shouldn't have this to be 1. So it's supposed to be 0, 0. So let me clear this. This actually 0. Okay. Yep. So I'll do same for here. I'll have here 0. So once I have this here, I'm good to go, right? My 1, this is backward substitution. So 1 by x3. So x3 is simply equal to 0.754 directly. Then I come to here. I'll have x2, right, times 1. So it's x2 plus 0.325 x3 is equal to 20.043. So here I'll get my x2 is 0.754 plus 0.325 x3 is equal to 20.043. So I can find x3 simply equal to 20.043 minus 0.754 all over 0.325. What am I getting? So writing these quotients, 20.043 minus 0.754 all over 0.325, and this is equal to 59.35. So therefore x1, x2, x3 is simply equal to the expression x1, which is what, 59.35, x2 20.043, x3 0.754. So thank you for being with me in this video. Yes, it's been a long one, but just for you to understand the concept from the scratch. Okay, so see you in the later videos. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.